Support for this program is provided by
The Women's Hospital delivers comprehensive health care to women and infants through inpatient and outpatient obstetrical, gynecologic, and education programs. The Women's Hospital, only at Deaconess.
and by Toyota Indiana, Pump It Up Evansville, and Gigi's Cupcakes.
We're talking about confidence and the perception of confidence and communicating with confidence. So confidence is the belief in your own ability. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for some reason, sometimes confidence can be perceived negatively in women. You know, she's aggressive or she's bitchy. And it doesn't really make any sense. So the question is, you know, we spend all this time on girls. We're empowering them, you know, we're talking to them about confidence and that they can do whatever they want to do. But is the world going to be ready for them when they become adults? We'll see.
Oh gosh, I don't remember. I think I wanted to be a doctor. As you know, I love animals and I love people, and I wanted to help fix things. I wanted to help fix people and help people feel good about themselves. So I kind of ended up doing that, but in a different aspect with my job. So not a doctor, but still help making people feel good about themselves.
I wanted to be a singer. Music was my thing. Yeah.
The black female version of Quincy.
Honestly, I kind of wanted to be like my mom. Yeah.
Why?
She was just so brave. I mean, I was just kind of like the one that was just sitting in the background, and I just kind of looked up to her.
A nurse.
I actually wanted to be a politician.
An actor.
So how old are you?
I'm 16.
So when you were a young child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Anywhere between the princess and then the president of the United States. I gotta dream big, I guess.
How long have you been principal here?
I'm going into my 9th year.
9th year.
Here
Okay.
at Bosse,
Here
yes.
at Bosse. And where were you before that?
I spent about 10 and a half at Glenwood. And before that, I taught here at Bosse for 22 years, taught and coached. So,
What did you teach?
I taught health and physical education.
Okay.
And I coached girls track, boys tennis, girls gymnastics, assistant coach for girls gymnastics, head coach for girls volleyball, and then became an assistant athletic director.
So like everything?
A little bit.
Just
little bit.
basically everything.
Yeah, but my roots are in the Bosse, certainly in the Bosse district.
Okay.
This is the 40th year of education and being in the Bosse district. So
Wow.
I started my career in 1976.
I bet you're proud.
So I've been around for a little while.
So a lot has changed since you started.
Yeah.
You know, the foundation of what we're talking about is we work so hard to raise our girls to be confident.
Mm-hmm.
You can do anything you want to do, you know? And when you get older, it's not quite so fairy tale sometimes.
It's called reality.
Right? Right?
It's called reality.
So it's like, okay, sometimes there's a perception of the confident woman. And some women, even myself, you know, and I'm young, I'm a young woman, how to navigate through communicating with people. You know, am I being too aggressive? Am I too assertive? Am I, you know, if I'm too nice, are they going to take me seriously? You know, I think women struggle with that, even speaking to other women and speaking to other men, or speaking to men in general. What do you think about that? Like, I think how's that happen
I think
throughout
that
the time?
society has kind of actually bred women to be, I guess the term would be subservient, quiet, and not really pay any attention to what they have to say. But that has changed over the years, and certainly Title IX has helped that. Equal rights for women has helped that. And so I think that women began to recognize that we have a real stake in what is going on in society other than just bearing children. And so knowing that, I think over the course of time, women have learned to step into a different arena, and we've learned that we can handle that arena extremely well.
I just turned 30. Yeah. It was exciting. I was actually very excited to turn 30. I thought that I would get a little bit more credibility. Being young and being a woman, it's a double whammy. So now that I'm 30, I mean, when people look at me and they're like, you're a young, no, I'm a 30-year-old woman. I'm important. I have clout now.
Okay, so how old were you when paparazzi was born?
I was 23 when I started paparazzi. I had managed things. I spent a lot of time observing management and knowing what not to do. But honestly, I went in it just sort of clueless in a sense. I had a vision, so I knew what I wanted to do. I just didn't know exactly how to get there. So it was terrifying. Management kind of hit me when I grew and I had to become a manager. That's kind of when I learned.
So did you hire a woman or a man?
To work for me, it was a female. I had my first employee was a girl who was in high school. She was great. And then my next employee was Sarah, who's my store manager at Paparazzi now, and she is my savior. She is excellent. She's better than me at this point at the business, and don't air that. I don't want to admit that part. Right. But she's excellent. She's somebody that I can always count on. I went into it thinking, you know, I want this person to like me. I was super, super nice, way too passive. I had worked for females, and, you know, being in the business culture and working for other females, you'll always hear employees say, well, she's such a bitch. You know, she's a bitch. And I didn't want to be a bitch. But when a man acts in a way that's authoritative and does things that are, you know, professional, they're viewed as a professional and as somebody who knows what's going on. When a woman behaves that way, we're a bitch. So that was a fine line, you know, to get between, I want this person to like me, but also they need to do these certain things. And it was a learning process for sure. I'm still learning it. I'm still way too cool. I actually didn't have a place in the beginning. Most of the manufacturers that I would deal with are men. To this day, most of the people in the prom dress industry are men. And I know why. I mean, and that's why we get dresses. And I'm like, why would anybody put an empire waist with a chiffon bottom that makes everybody look fat? And it's because they're men. But when I initially started hooking up with the vendors and having discussions with them, I would like go for a trade show. So I would always take my husband because they're far away, and we'd travel and we'd go together, build the business together. And I noticed immediately that when they were speaking to us, they were speaking to him. They weren't speaking to me at all. I wasn't even a factor. And, you know, they're telling him, this is our minimum order quantity. This is what we hope to do with your store. And I'm like, hello, like, I'm the one who has the store. Of course, he's a huge role of what I do, but it was my first instance where I saw that being a female alienated me. from my own business. And so that was an interesting perspective to get. Actually, I told him on the second day of the trade show, you need to stay in the hotel. And I went back to those vendors and I was like, I appreciate you speaking with my husband and I, but moving forward, I would appreciate if you look me in the eye and that you do business with me because I'm gonna be your contact. And I still have contacts with a lot of those people, and it's funny because the roles have changed. Now when we go out, they're, you know, hello, Miss Kassy and Mr. Kassy. So it's been an interesting change in dynamic there. But
got into administration. I, as a head leader at a middle school, and there were only 2 women out of 10 schools. And I can recall specifically being in a meeting, and I had asked a question about something, and it was just kind of brushed over. And one of my peers asked a question, and not only did he get an answer, we were getting ready to vote on it. And at that point in time, I remember distinctly saying, I know that you don't believe that I'm going to sit here and listen to this, and that you have the audacity to imply that whatever I was thinking about was not significant, and because he is a man, what he had was significant, and you want to vote on it? I said, if that's how we're going to play this game, then I'm taking my marbles, I'm going home. And I said, it's not right, and I'll be, you know what? If you think I'm going to sit here and allow you to roll over me like I don't exist. And I tell you, they were so stunned. And everybody just sat there. I said, I put something on the table that we need to deal with that impacts my school, my environment, and it is as important as whatever he was saying. Now, are we going to do something about it or not? And all of a sudden, one of my peers said, you know, you guys, she's right. She's right. I said, thank you. I am so glad that at least one of you has the intestinal fortitude to step up to the plate and do what is right.
Actually, in management at Tyson Foods, and we always say it's a man's world, but and I actually was one of the first women managers there. So I absolutely feel like that women can do the same jobs as men.
I believe so. I believe so. My mom always told me that my greatest treasure is having my mind, and as long as I have that and I work on developing myself, I can do anything that I want to do.
You're not going to develop too bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So he was like, I'm like better at baseball than you, football, basketball, and then at gym class today we actually had a game, and I was like, well, what do you think now? Because I actually beat him. So I was like, now what do you think? I told you I can do anything that I can possibly put my mind to.
Definitely, like, anything a woman can do, a man can do, and vice versa. Everything is equal. But in the society that we live in today, I definitely believe that there's just like, I don't even know, men can do the strong things and women can stay at home and cook for the family, and men get paid more, and it's just nuts. I don't really believe in it, but I mean, it's what it is.
Why is it that way? Why do you think it's that way?
I just think that maybe ever since, like, I don't know, 1920s and everything, that's just the way it's always been in the world, and I really don't know.
Do you have any power to change it?
I think we could. I mean, there's a lot of things going on right now with all the feminism and everything, and like this, and every woman is trying to stand up for themselves and like actually believe in themselves and take a stand, but I also think that it might still be this way for a while, just because like it's the way it's always been, and like it's kind of maybe like a traditional thing.
So I'm a very good basketball player. Like, I love basketball. So
I used to want to play in the WNBA. And as I was looking at the salaries for NBA players and WNBA players, because NBA players are valued more, they get higher pay, as an average of a WNBA player makes about $35,000, while men are getting paid millions of dollars for just one game. So that's just one of the things that I think that we are imbalanced in.
So when you saw those numbers, did that change your dream of being in the WNBA?
It didn't really change my dream because I still wanted to play basketball because that's where my heart is, but it did sort of, make me upset that I wasn't being looked at as great as men are.
How does that make you feel?
Makes me angry, I don't like being a girl that doesn't get to be as valued as men are.
I mean, a lot of my friends are guys. They'll always be like, hey, Elena, come over and cook for us and cook grilled cheese. And I'll be like, why don't you do that? I mean, you can do the exact same thing as I do. We can both make a decent grilled cheese.
I think I've just had to learn that on my own. My parents are great, but they are more old-fashioned in the sense of, like, my mom cooks and cleans and my dad mows the yard and that kind of thing. And I have an older brother who's really big on the woman walks two steps behind the man for the Bible. And there's all kinds of things like that that has gone on in my childhood and upbringing. Not that it was bad, it's just that's how their thinking was. I've always been kind of the black sheep though, and more the liberal in the family, and I've kind of think outside the box. And again, I've surrounded myself with people that think like I do and have inspired me and have encouraged me to move up in the world and be who I want to be and think how I want to think. And that's just been an amazing journey. So, yeah.
Do you love being a woman?
I love being a woman.
I am old. I'm admitting it.
How old are you?
Well, in April, I'll be 90. So that's old. Now, don't either one of you say it isn't. Because it is. You stop and think of how long ago that was now, and it was really different than now. Very.
How so?
You didn't. I don't remember of ever seeing a woman doctor. I don't remember. Mostly the women were school teachers, nurses, a few, secretaries, but it's not like it is now.
I think one of the problems is we look at our children as the most pertinent years being when they're really, really small. But we neglect to think about the years when they're not small, the years when my daughter is saying, Mom, I want to go to school to do this, or I want to start this business. Have I laid the foundation to show her that she can be whatever she wants to be? I mean, my parents told me all the time, you can be anything you want to be. That was my dad's and he was like, please don't let it be an exotic dancer, but you can be whatever you want to be. And I believed that, and that's why I am who I am. So by me being whoever I want to be, I'm showing my daughter and my son firsthand that that's a true statement.
My first year when I came, and I was here for that half a semester, or that half a year, and when Bosse was really struggling, and it's unusual to come mid-year. And I remember when we went through graduation, at that time it was Robert Stadium, and a young man came across the stage, and as I started giving him a hug, okay, each student. And so everybody said, our graduation lasts as long as everybody else. We have half the population. Okay, because you're hugging everybody. But I would say something to each one, and that was very special to them. And one young man came across and he said, thank you for saving our school. And I said, no, we saved our school. And then a few years later, I was always in the hallways hollering at kids and said, have you lost your marbles? Young man, graduation's out here, reaches in his robe, and I thought, oh my Lord, what's he doing? School board member, superintendent. He gives me this vase that I have in my office. And he says, Miss Huff, you remember when you asked us if we've lost our marbles? I said, yes. You can come on through. He said, well, we know where we can come back and find our marbles. So he took the jar and he dropped a marble in it. And each student that came through there after him dropped a marble in. And they said, we know if we ever lose our marbles, where we can come back and find them. Greatest gift I've received as a principal. When people acknowledge that you're there for them, that you love them, you want them to be successful. It's easy. It makes my job easy. It's not a job.
It makes sense. It's like we can be strong women leaders, be compassionate,
gentle,
be loving, be gentle,
funny,
but also be funny.
Have a sense of humor.
But when I'm ready to give my opinion, I can be
forceful enough to stand up and voice it.
And I can still be all those other things.
And I can be all those other things. I can give you discipline and put you in school suspension before you leave my office. I say, but I love you. And for a teenager, male or female, say, I love you too, Miss Huff. That doesn't happen every day. That's a rarity when you have teenagers that openly will tell you, I love you, because they know it is genuine coming from me.
I get it now.
Discipline is a sign of love. Though you can wear all those hats as a female. That's the great thing about being a woman. You can wear a lot of different hats and impact a lot of different people at a lot of different times. And it works. It works for me, so.
That's really good.
I think that if you would have had this conversation with me 5 years ago, it would have been a different dialogue. A lot of the security that I've learned and the confidence that I've learned is because of what I've experienced. So it's changed me and shaped me, and it's made me less apologetic. I think I was a little bit more reserved to say how I really felt about something. You know, I was a little bit more cautious. And maybe that's something that's a change for the positive, and maybe not. I mean, maybe in some ways that hasn't been a good development. I think if I admitted that I saw a flaw in my plan, everybody else who's on this roadmap with me would just freak the hell out.
I really have to do this. I don't know. Okay. Just a little proud face. Oh my god, okay. This is gonna be ridiculous. Okay, I'm a very goofy person, so I always feel most confident making fun of myself, so I always like making funny faces, so like, I know that's ridiculous, but I love it. I always feel most confident when I'm goofy, when I can be myself and not feel like I have to reserve, you know, my weirdness for anybody else.
I have confidence, and I would stand up for what I do.
So you just really changed how you look?
No. No, I don't know, because I just feel like I'm a confident person. I don't know. Is that good?
Girls rule!
Confidence looks like being able to do whatever you want. If I want to cake on 10 pounds of makeup to my face, I don't think that I should be like judged for it. And if that goes for the same person as like some girl not wearing any makeup at all. It's whatever makes you feel beautiful. And like maybe me feeling beautiful is going to the gym every Tuesday and then going home and eating another grilled cheese. And it's just whatever makes you feel good about yourself and knowing that you're just like, I don't know, content with yourself and content with everything about you.
I think the thing that I learned the most was when Sheila was talking about communication, and that she communicated what she wanted to say with confidence, but you can still be loving and you can be tender and you can be compassionate as a woman, but still be assertive and say what you want to say. And I think for me personally, it's been a journey walking through that. And how do I say what I want to say? I'm worried about if they're not going to like me. Am I being too aggressive or assertive? Or if I'm being too quiet? Or, you know, is this a good idea or is this a bad idea? That is a journey for me, and then I'm walking through it. But talking to Sheila, I mean, it was so comforting to hear that, you know, that she kind of empowered me that I can be that woman and still say what I want to say and be effective. So we set out to find if girls and women are confident. They really are confident, and they believe in their abilities. And the second thing is we wanted to know, when they become older, is the world ready for them? It doesn't really matter because we're here.
I think it's that women are expected to appreciate emotion above productivity and above efficiency. We are softer. We are. I mean, we're emotional people, but it's not a handicap. It's an attribute, is how I look at it. So it's easy to become that bitch really fast. And a lot of times I feel like women who are in leadership positions feel like if you're not a bitch, you're not taking care of business. And that's really unfortunate, because you can be both. You know, you can be this emotional, soft human being who sees people and sees their struggles and still take care of what you do. You don't have to choose one or the other.
Support for this program is provided by
The Women's Hospital delivers comprehensive health care to women and infants through inpatient and outpatient obstetrical, gynecologic, and education programs. The Women's Hospital, only at Deaconess.